Is this impeachment thing real?
There's no question in my mind that this young man was trying to use his father's name to trade up for a better position.
Right.
There's no question in my mind that Hunter is a disaster of a human being in a million different ways. But does that mean that what he did rose to the level of including his dad in some kind of a conspiracy? I haven't seen it yet in terms of what I've seen in terms of the evidence, and I also don't see it in the DNA of Joe Biden as far as I've followed his career. And that's not to say that he's not impeachable in any way, that he's a perfect human being or anything else, but he's not. This is not his style.
But Rachel, it seems to me that the new standard is if you lie to the American public, that's impeachable, because you keep hearing them say, well, the question is not just is he in business with Hunter, it's is he lying about whether he ever talked to Hunter about his business.
Yeah, they're searching and searching for. How many years have we been doing this at this point? It's been, what, 5+ years this investigation has been going on? And at this point, I'm so tired and exhausted that we keep doing this song and dance. They've been searching and searching. They haven't found anything at this point. I agree with actually what you're saying about Hunter Biden. Yeah. But where has it gotten us at this point? When are we going to stop?
By the way, I also think we over-impeached during the Trump era. Just to be fair, I don't think we should have gone after Trump on the Russia stuff because there was no there, and it looked to me like that was a vendetta.
They didn't impeach him on the Russia
stuff.
No,
but they went after him and caused just as much havoc. I'm talking about this constant thing we see in Washington where I'm going to go after your guy and then you're going to go after my guy, and it's silly.
Well, right. We're using, to your
point. But let me let Diane, because Diane, do you have a different view on this?
I do. Yeah. I do. Well, I think that the more we investigate this, the more questions the American people have, and the more suspicious they become. Yeah. So, I know what Kevin McCarthy is saying is not necessarily that he wants to impeach, but that he wants to begin looking into it. And
but let me ask you this. What is the worst thing that you can say about Hunter Biden? What do you think he did?
What the American people, I think, are concerned about, and I'm concerned about, is did he take money from foreign nationals did he sell our country out?
But taking money from foreign nationals and selling our country out are two different things.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with getting a job with China.
Maybe not. Huh? Maybe not. Maybe it's not two different things. If he's benefiting financially by peddling that influence.
But if we get to the point where we where we deal with maybe nots. Maybe I robbed a bank last week, but maybe not.
No, the problem.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be disrespectful.
The problem with the standard is if the standard is influence peddling is a really big deal, and people hate it when you switch the topic, right? Yeah. The whataboutism allegation.
Yes.
You got to talk about Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner.
Of course.
Right. I mean, and I'm not saying you should investigate them, right? I'm not saying.
And they're much better at it.
It's like, but this idea of influence peddling. I mean, how can you not talk about that at the same time?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what are you waiting for to happen? Because at this point, I feel like they keep searching to try to find something because they're trying to connect the dots to Joe Biden. Yeah. And they're just not connecting.
So far. But again, as these allegations keep coming out, as we start digging, we start getting more clues. It's kind of like this, scavenger hunt almost. Wow. What I think a lot of people are waiting for is to find out if that money, where all those shell companies were set up, that kind of thing, was that money actually funneled to Joe Biden?
He was drunk and stoned. I don't think
You're talking about Hunter.
Yes,
yeah.
I don't think neither he or his father were capable of creating shell companies.
You have a point.
Well, no.
To be perfectly honest,
he definitely was creating shell companies. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Effectively.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that he was, definitely getting money that for at the least doing very little, right? At worst, doing nothing, right? But that's not illegal.
Ivanka and Jared got a check for $2 billion from the South.
I'm actually more concerned to some degree about the fact that the Ivanka trademarks come in. You want to talk about influence peddling right at the same time as Donald Trump removes sanctions from a major Chinese company and says he's trying to save jobs for China, which just seems like an odd thing for Donald Trump to say, but I don't know.
But maybe we should ask ourselves this. Isn't it reasonable to suspect that anybody in public office today is going to do some horse trading and that some of it is going to always be somewhat unethical? Mm-hmm. These are not the most principled people in our society.
Rod Blagojevich would say that he ended up serving time for that.
Well,
so I'm just saying that. But look, I think that the problem is when you use the term impeachment, that what McCarthy is doing is bowing to the far right. Meaning, thank you for watching. Go Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.